Only 12 people younger than 32 years old have ever managed a Bundesliga team, and they all did it between 1968 and 1994, except for one person. Next season, FC St Pauli will return to the Bundesliga with a 31-year-old German-Swiss-American manager. But to be successful in the top league, Fabian Hürzeler will need to be able to adapt his bizarre tactics that at times left his team with no midfield to the most difficult competition the team has faced yet. This incredible club, backed by the rabid misfits and punks of Hamburg, will try to give the league Buccaneers a new superpower. Now, I spent the last week reviewing the entire two Bundesliga season to give you a sneak peek at what the most intriguing team and manager combo looks like on and off the pitch. Now, just a little spoiler alert, this club might just change the way that you feel about a community-backed football club and what they're capable of. So who is Fabian Hürzeler? Well, he was born in Houston to a Swiss father and German mother, as his parents practiced dentistry in the United States, and at a young age he left the US to be raised in Germany, but his family always took vacations back in America. This link kept him really close to his country of birth, and he even trained with the US youth national teams. And anyone in the comments, I know this is going to happen, that wants to argue with me on whether he is American or his Americanness, here's what he had to say on the topic. He said, "I think I will always be connected to the United States because, in the end, it's the land I was born. I try to work hard to reach my dream. I think that's one point that will always stay connected to me and the United States." And while he showed promise as a youth as part of the Bayern Munich Academy, he couldn't really seem to crack the senior team no matter where he went. And by the time he had reached the age of 22, he just knew he wasn't going to make it as a professional player and a career out of playing. But what if there was another way? Enter a 23-year-old player manager for 5th tier FC Pippensried. Now around here, we love a player coach, and Fabian showed his coaching chops early on. This was a star in the making that we see today. And actually his teammate in the Bayern second team predicted this, and you'll know him from his Dortmund days right now, Emre Can, said that Fabian Hürzeler would eventually be a great manager. So when Hürzeler joined FC Pippensried, their greatest accomplishment at the time was sneaking into the 5th division of German football. Fabian had other ideas though. While studying for his UEFA Pro license and taking on additional roles as assistant to Germany youth teams, Hürzeler sharpened his managerial blade, getting the club from the small village of Bavaria promoted to Germany's 4th tier, a height that FC Pippensried had never seen before and would not see again once Hürzeler left. Now, the success of implementing attractive football in lower divisions, along with his ability to maximize player production, landed him as an assistant to Timo Schulz with Zweite Bundesliga side FC St Pauli in 2020. Now, if you don't know, there is a quite large and important context here surrounding FC St Pauli. They are likely the most well-known second division club in the world. Supported by the far left, the punks and the misfits of Hamburg, the fans expect the team to play with a similar rebellious nature. They're a club more than any other based around a shared identity and vision, representative of unity, freedom, rebellion, and the working class. This proud club in the shadow of Hamburger SV hasn't been back to the Bundesliga since 2011. Now, with Timo Schulz at the helm and Hürzeler as assistant, FC St Pauli had lost an achingly close promotion fight in the 2021-22 season. And while the 22-23 season was poised to see another challenge for promotion, by December the club had fallen just outside of the relegation spot, only saved by goal difference. Now, as the footballing world took a breath to watch the Qatar World Cup and the Zweite Bundesliga entered its mid-season winter break, FC St Pauli made a decision that would change its trajectory forever. At just 29 years old, American-born Fabian Hürzeler became the youngest manager ever in the two Bundesliga. And with his club staring relegation in the face, Hürzeler's squad would break a record held by the one Jürgen Klopp. The club went on to win the first 10 matches of Fabian Hürzeler's tenure. He brought them from the brink of relegation in December to the edge of promotion in April. Just an insane turnaround. Now, the campaign was disappointing in the end. The club tied in 4th place, one place outside of the promotion playoff. And this year, they won the league. FC St Pauli and Fabian Hürzeler secured promotion to the Bundesliga by winning the Zweite Bundesliga, With a rare combination of progressive tactics that we're about to talk about, and a squad of journeymen from Germany, Australia, Estonia, and really the rest of the world. So how did a now 31-year-old manager create an entirely new and unique way of playing with an eclectic mix of footballing exiles? Now, I just want you to know, this thumbnail is not clickbait. The team regularly abandons the midfield in favor of spreading the pitch as wide as possible and pushing what seems like the entire team into the opposition's box. Formations are simply ways to envision how a squad might line up. But with St Pauli under Hürzeler, it's better to start with the basic understanding that no player outside of the goalkeeper plays a specific position. You'll regularly find defenders in attack, wingers in defense, and central strikers on the wing. This is all because Hürzeler prefers space and structure over personnel. Let's just say, for simplicity's sake, that the squad regularly starts in a 3-4-3, which I would argue that they do. The squad is perfectly happy to set up during a rest defense period in a 5-2-3, and just as happy to fall into that shape if the initial press doesn't win the ball. In possession, things get wild and wacky. 2 defenders, 3 defenders, 2 midfielders, 0 midfielders, 3 attackers, 5 attackers, 7 attackers. It all depends on the situation. And let me just say this right now. I have been watching and analyzing soccer for the better part of 20 years. I have never seen a squad play this fluidly. Players having such a deep understanding of space and where they're supposed to be. And what I mean by that statement is really simple. When one player moves into space, the most efficient next player moves into the right space left behind. The team seems to be completely selfless, in the sense that attackers are not too proud to sit and defend, and defenders are confident enough to step up into the middle or attacking third. What I really love about this tactic is that the team maintains a ruthless grip on possession by putting numbers into the attacking spaces. We've seen this a little bit with Brighton and the Columbus Crew. Their defenders and goalkeepers will hold the ball at their feet to bait the press out of position. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how this team scores, and I found it's one of 3 ways. The first is from their possession, and when they're able to throw numbers forward and create overloads. It's not uncommon to see 5 players attacking an opponent's back line. Now, we'll see here the skill and ability to break down a defensive line with numbers, and really this isn't rocket science. This strategy is all about overloading space with more players than your opponent. Now, the second way this team scores is through their counter-pressing. After losing possession, they'll try to win the ball once, high up the pitch, and catch the opponent off guard and off balance to create advantages going towards goal. The third is much less sexy, but I wouldn't be doing this team justice if I didn't mention it. Hürzeler has made a concerted effort to score more from set pieces and corners this year and concede less from them. This has been something that he's mentioned as part of his pragmatic education as a coach in lower divisions, where sometimes maybe athleticism and your ability to physically be dominant is more important than the technique on the ball. Now, I mentioned the counterpress, and the coolest thing for me watching these games wasn't on the attacking side, and this really surprised me as I was reviewing the games. It was the defensive nature of this team. Because FC St Pauli controls so much of the possession, they're set up nicely to attack and counterpress on the first action when they lose the ball. If the ball isn't won in that pressing action, the team will reset into a compact 5-2-3. And you should not think about this team as a high-pressing team, because they're just not. That's wrong. The line of confrontation is usually at the halfway line or deeper. We should really be thinking of this team as a intense defensive unit, because that's what they do. It's more about the intensity of your actions rather than where you're taking those actions. When they do lose the ball, the high press makes the opponent panic. When they don't have the ball and they're back in the 5-2-3, it really seems to squeeze the life out of the opponents, because it's really difficult to play through the middle and you're being forced to the outside lines. It can feel like the other team is just suffocating you off the ball. Now, FC St Pauli this year has scored the 6th most goals in the league, and they've given up the least. And that, to me, is a recipe for success no matter what club or league or team that you have. Not to mention, he's gotten the best seasons out of multiple career journeymen, but especially the central midfielder Marcel Hartel, whose highest goal total before this season was 5. Do you know how many he had this season? He had 17 goals and 12 assists playing this buccaneering style of football. Whether you want to consider him German or Swiss or American, I really don't think it matters, because Fabian Hürzeler seems to be proud of all the nationalities that he represents, and his personal uniqueness is driving a team to be unique and successful at a higher and higher level. Now, I really hope you learned something new from this video, and I'm not going to ask you to subscribe or like this video. I'm actually going to ask if you have a place that you talk about soccer or a person that you talk to about soccer, that you share this video with them, because I think that would go a long way to reaching a new audience. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Peace.